There is something truly magical about growing your own food. It connects us to the earth and the changing seasons. Growing grapes takes this connection to a new level. Imagine stepping into your garden on a late summer afternoon. You can reach out and pluck a cluster of sun-warmed grapes, bursting with sweetness. This is not a dream reserved for grand estates in France or Italy. With a little bit of knowledge and some patient work, you can create your very own source of endless grapes, right in your own back garden. It is a rewarding journey. This is what I call smart gardening. It is not about working harder, but about understanding what a plant truly needs to thrive. A grapevine is a generous plant, but it does have its preferences. By learning its language and providing the right conditions from the very start, you set the stage for decades of bountiful harvests. It is about creating a partnership with your plant. You provide the care, and in return, it provides delicious fruit year after year. This guide will walk you through the simple, practical steps to make that happen, turning a small patch of your garden into a productive and beautiful vineyard. The joy of a grapevine extends far beyond the fruit itself. In spring, you will watch the first green buds break, a sign of new life. Through summer, the vine will grow with vigor, its broad leaves creating a lush canopy that offers welcome shade. You can train it over a pergola to create a beautiful leafy tunnel to sit under. Then, as autumn approaches, the leaves will turn to shades of gold and crimson, putting on a final, spectacular display before winter. Growing grapes is a year-round pleasure that enriches the garden in so many ways, long before the first harvest is ready for picking. So let us begin this wonderful adventure together. Do not be intimidated by the thought of it. Growing grapes is simpler than you might think. It is a process of observation, care, and gentle guidance. We will break it down into manageable tasks, from choosing the right vine to the satisfying snip of the pruning shears. By following these steps, you are not just planting a vine, you are planting a legacy of fresh, homegrown fruit for you and your family to enjoy for many years to come. Your journey to an endless supply of grapes starts now, with the first simple decision. The first step, and perhaps the most important one, is choosing the right grapevine for your garden. Not all grapes are the same. Some are bred for making wine, others are perfect for eating fresh from the vine, and some are excellent for making juices or jellies. Think about what you want from your grapes. Do you dream of sweet, seedless table grapes for snacking? Or perhaps a classic variety like Concord for its rich traditional flavor? Doing a little research now will ensure you are delighted with your harvest later. It is best to choose a variety that is known to grow well in your local climate. Your local garden center or a specialist nursery is a fantastic place to start your search. The staff there can offer valuable advice on which varieties will perform best in your specific area. They will know which ones are resistant to common local diseases and which can handle your winter temperatures. Look for plants that are at least 1 or 2 years old. They should have a healthy, strong-looking main stem and a good root system. Avoid any plants that look weak, have yellowing leaves, or show any signs of disease. A strong start is crucial for a long and productive life for your vine. Once you have your vine, you must choose the perfect spot to plant it. Grapevines are sun worshippers. They need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every single day to produce the energy they need, to grow strong, and, most importantly, to ripen their fruit. An ideal location would be a south-facing wall or fence. This position not only provides maximum sun exposure, but also offers protection from strong winds. The wall will also absorb heat during the day and radiate it back at night, creating a warm microclimate that the grapevine will absolutely love and thrive in. Think about the long term too. A grapevine is a commitment. It will grow with you for many, many years. It will get bigger and will need a sturdy support structure to climb on, like a trellis, an arbor, or a system of strong wires. Make sure you plant it somewhere with enough space to allow it to spread out over time. Do not plant it too close to other large plants that will compete with it for sunlight, water, and nutrients. Giving your vine its own dedicated space is a key part of setting it up for a long and very fruitful life in your garden. Grapevines are not terribly fussy about soil, but there is one thing they absolutely cannot stand: having wet feet. This means that good drainage is the most critical factor for a healthy root system. If water sits around the roots, they can rot, which will quickly lead to a very unhappy, or even dead, plant. Before you even think about planting, test your soil's drainage. Dig a hole about a foot deep and fill it with water. If the water is still standing there after an hour, your drainage needs improving. This simple test can save you a lot of heartache in the future. If you find your soil is heavy clay and holds on to water, you will need to amend it. The best way to do this is by adding plenty of organic matter. Well-rotted garden compost, leaf mold, or even some coarse grit can work wonders. Dig a generous planting hole, at least twice as wide and deep as the pot your vine came in. Mix your compost and grit into the soil you have removed before backfilling it around the plant. This will create a free-draining, aerated environment where the roots can breathe and grow deep, anchoring the plant firmly and seeking out moisture and nutrients. A slightly acidic to neutral pH is ideal for grapevines, somewhere between 6.0 and 7.0. Most garden soils will fall within this range, but it is always a good idea to test it if you are unsure. You can buy simple pH testing kits from any garden center. If your soil is too acidic, you can add some garden lime to raise the pH. If it is too alkaline, adding sulfur or incorporating more organic matter like pine needles will help to lower it over time. Getting the soil right before planting is far easier than trying to correct it later on, so this preparation is time well spent. When you are ready to plant, gently remove the grapevine from its pot, being careful not to disturb the root ball too much. Place it in the center of your prepared hole, making sure that the point where the main stem meets the roots is level with the surrounding soil. Backfill the hole with your improved soil mixture, gently firming it down with your hands to remove any large air pockets. Give it a really good, deep watering to help the soil settle around the roots. This initial drink helps the vine to establish itself quickly in its new home, ready to begin its journey of growth. Once your grapevine is in the ground, it will start to grow, and honestly, it will grow with surprising speed. This is where training comes in. Training is simply the process of guiding the vine's growth onto its support structure. It's not about restricting the plant, but about creating a strong, open framework that will encourage air circulation and allow sunlight to reach all the developing fruit. In the first year, your main goal is to establish a strong, straight main trunk. Choose the most vigorous shoot that grows from your young plant and tie it loosely to your support post or wire as it grows upwards. You'll need to be ruthless and remove any other shoots that appear from the base of the plant. I know, this might feel harsh, but it is essential. By doing this, you are directing all of the plant's energy into developing that single strong trunk. This trunk will be the permanent foundation of your grapevine for its entire life, so it is vital to get it right. As the main shoot grows, continue to tie it in every foot or so. Use soft garden twine or special plant ties that will not cut into the delicate stem as it thickens over the coming months and years. Once your main trunk has reached the desired height, maybe the top of a fence or the first wire of your trellis, you can begin to develop the main arms, known as cordons. To do this, you pinch out the growing tip of the main trunk. This will encourage the plant to produce side shoots just below the point where you pinched it. Select 2 of the strongest side shoots, one on each side, and begin training them horizontally along your wires or trellis. These 2 arms will form the main fruiting structure of your vine for years to come. As these horizontal arms grow, you will continue to remove any other unwanted shoots that sprout from the main trunk. Your aim is to create a simple, clean T shape. This basic structure allows for easy management and ensures that the plant's energy is not wasted on producing a tangled mess of unproductive leaves and stems. It creates an orderly framework that makes the important annual task of pruning much more straightforward. This initial shaping in the first couple of years is the key to creating a vine that is both beautiful and incredibly productive. Pruning is, without a doubt, the most important yearly task for ensuring a great crop of grapes. It can seem daunting, but honestly, the principles are quite simple. Grapes grow on new shoots that emerge from one-year-old wood. Therefore, the main purpose of winter pruning is to remove most of the growth from the previous summer, leaving just a few buds that will produce the fruit-bearing shoots for the coming season. The best time to do this is in the dead of winter, when the vine is fully dormant. Any time from December to late February is usually perfect for this crucial job. There are 2 main methods for pruning the side shoots that grow from your main horizontal arms: spur pruning and cane pruning. For most garden situations, spur pruning is the simpler and more common method. Along each of the main horizontal arms, you will have a series of short side shoots that grew the previous year. You will prune each of these back hard, leaving just 2 or 3 healthy buds on each one. These short pruned stems are called spurs. It is from these few buds that all of the new fruit-bearing growth will emerge in the spring. This process should be repeated every single winter. You will cut back the new growth to create new spurs, keeping the vine's framework compact and manageable. It is a cycle of renewal. By removing about 90% of the previous year's growth, you are concentrating all of the vine's energy into producing high-quality fruit on the remaining buds, rather than producing a huge amount of leaves and woody stems. A properly pruned vine might look very bare and stark in winter, but do not worry. This severe haircut is precisely what it needs to burst into productive life in spring. Always use a pair of sharp, clean secateurs or pruning shears. A clean cut will heal quickly and is less likely to become infected with disease. Take your time and think about each cut. The goal is to maintain that basic T-shaped framework, with evenly spaced spurs along each of the horizontal arms. This annual ritual of pruning is your conversation with the vine, guiding its energy and shaping its future. It is this careful attention that transforms a rambling plant into a reliable and abundant source of delicious sweet grapes for your table. Consistent watering is especially important for young vines, and during the crucial period when the grape clusters are forming and swelling. The soil should be kept moist but never waterlogged. A good deep watering once a week is much better than a light sprinkle every day. This encourages the roots to grow deeper into the soil in search of water, making the plant more resilient during dry spells. As the grapes begin to change color and ripen, you should reduce the amount of water you give them. A little bit of water stress at this stage actually helps to concentrate the sugars in the fruit, making them much sweeter. Feeding your grapevine at the right time can make a big difference to the quality and quantity of your harvest. A good feed in early spring, just as the buds are beginning to swell, will give the vine the energy it needs for its initial burst of growth. A balanced liquid fertilizer, such as a seaweed feed, is perfect. Another targeted feed can be applied just as the tiny flowers appear. However, be careful not to overfeed, especially with nitrogen-rich fertilizers. Too much nitrogen will encourage lots of leafy growth at the expense of the fruit, which is the last thing you want. Even the healthiest garden can have issues with pests and diseases. For grapevines, the most common problem is powdery mildew, which appears as a white, dusty coating on the leaves. Good air circulation is the best defense, which is why proper pruning and training are so important. If you do see signs of it, you can spray with a suitable organic fungicide. Keep an eye out for birds as the grapes ripen, as they love the sweet fruit as much as we do. Netting the vine is the most effective way to protect your precious crop and ensure it ends up on your table, not theirs. To achieve that endless supply of grapes, a simple, systemized approach is best. In winter you prune. In early spring you give the first feed. Through late spring and early summer, you water regularly and tie in the new green shoots. As summer progresses, you watch for pests and reduce watering as the fruit ripens. Finally, in late summer or early autumn, you get to enjoy the best part, the harvest. By repeating this simple cycle of care year after year, you build a lasting relationship with your vine, ensuring it remains healthy, productive, and a beautiful feature in your garden for decades.